What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. We're focusing on the possibility of the Nashville Predators making a move for number one center. And if I was Dave Poille, would I pull the trigger on a deal for involving Seth Jones? And the answer is yes. I thought about this long and hard the last couple of weeks, and it's like, yeah, Seth Jones is great and all that, but he's not going to reach his potential as number three defenseman in Nashville. You have bigger organizational needs if you want to win the Cup, i.e., a number one center. And I think, there's two good young centers I think that can be had. More or less a package deal centered around Jones for said center. It's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Ryan Johansson. Let's start with Johansson. I think he needs to change of scenery in the worst way. I mean, John Tortorella is being a miserable prick with him. He's not using him correctly, and he's pissing away the kid's confidence. I mean, he's really... Torts does this. He alienates, wherever he goes, he alienates the team's better players. I mean, look no further than Marian Gaborik in New York, along with a couple of the guys in Tampa. Sedin's and Luongo to a certain degree in Vancouver. It's like he's just such a black cloud over a team. And, Johansson, if I was him as agent, I would be doing everything I could to get out of there. He was centering Gregory Campbell and I forget who else the other night. It's like, really, that's what you're doing towards this kid is your best player offensively, and I know he doesn't fit Tortorella's system, but I think you send this kid to Nashville and give him Peter Laviolette and let that dynamic kind of take effect. And Lavi's had some good history at getting the best out of certain centers, and I think Johansson could be in that mix. And again, I think 1-for-1 for Seth Jones. I think something can be arranged along those lines. And the thing about Johansson's stock's never really been lower because of the way Tortorella is managing his ice time and giving him jack shit to work with. It's like let's see what he can do if he's given on a team like Nashville that has some real talent. I mean, you put him on a line with James Neal and Phil Forsberg, look out. Likewise, so in Edmonton, they have too many forwards, not enough young defensemen, and I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for Seth Jones, I mean, that deal gets talked about all the time, but I mean, I think now it can come to fruition. I really look at Nugent-Hopkins as another guy that, you give him the aforementioned James Neal and Phil Forsberg with his shifty playmaking ability, he's going to create. He's going to create chances, and I think he's going to fit in really well with that Predators team. And I think Seth Jones as a big part of the Edmonton blue line. I mean, you look at him, Clefbaum, Donnell Nurse. I mean, that's going to be pretty solid young group of defensemen to complement the guys up there. Obviously, Connor McDavid's coming back soon. Taylor Hall, Leon Draisaitl, maybe even Yakupov. I mean, maybe you can get a deal for Nashville. If you're Nashville, get Yakupov too. See what he can do with the change of scenery. I mean, I don't like speculating what pieces go where in terms of trades because different organizations value different players differently. But a deal centered around Seth Jones for Nugent-Hopkins, I think, can work well. But we'll see how it all works out. I think Edmonton, now's the time for them to move forward for a young defenseman, and Seth Jones is a really, really good young defenseman. And I mean, you look at Nugent-Hopkins, you look at the way Leon Draisaitl's come on as of late, and to a certain degree, obviously McDavid. Going forward, where does he fit in as center in Edmonton? And I think I'm not trying to cast him aside, but at the same time, you look at it, you get a pretty good asset back for him. So we'll see how it all works out, but definitely something to keep an eye on going forward. But if I'm Dave Poille, I'm making that deal. I'm getting one of those two centers for Jones. I just think it's time. You want to win the Cup. Let's do this. Anyway, that's all I got. Episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes of the season and beyond. Later, guys.